Yo, what is up everybody? Popo here bringing you guys a new video, and today we're going to talk about whether Palworld is copying Pokemon or not. Let's go. Welcome everybody, and today we're going to be discussing whether or not Palworld is ripping off Pokemon with the designs and some other elements of the game. If you don't know what Palworld is, it is a new survival monster capturing game that just released from an indie studio, and it is now the #3 all-time played game on Steam concurrently, which is crazy. Right under Battlegrounds, PUBG, and CSGO. So it's right under those, above titles like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring. These are Game of the Year winning games, and this game has more concurrent players than those have ever had, which is insane to think about. And I have put quite a few hours on stream into this game, and I gotta say, the game is good. And at the bottom line of this whole discussion is the game is good, right? It runs really well. It's free on Game Pass if you have that on Xbox, or on PC it is only $30 on Steam, so it's a really good competitive price point, and the gameplay is very satisfying. You feel progression, you're catching a lot of these monsters they call pals, and you're kind of just progressing as a whole. And the game is very, very solid. If you like survival games, it is definitely one to check out, especially for that price point. And it has some really cool monsters, but that's where this whole issue comes in, the monsters. Even just looking at this page here, you can probably point to a couple of things and be like, something about that. And I just kind of want to talk about that and what my opinion is on it. So you can see here, there's a bunch of different monsters, and if you look right below this one, there's like a lion guy, and then right below that, it kind of looks like Lucario, right? It kind of looks like Lucario. Fair enough. I mean, I get it. People are saying the one over there looks like, you know, Electabuzz. Fair enough. The flying bird over there looks like, you know, Braviary or something. But does it really, you know? Does it really? And people are just saying that they're copying all the designs, like ripping them off one for one. And now, I will be the first one to tell you, I call some of these monsters Pokemon names. There's one that looks almost exactly like Goodra, except he has a flower on its head. I don't know why nobody uses that one for this. Some of the connections that people make between the two monsters really doesn't make sense to me, because there's other ones that look more like them, and we'll be going through an article and I'm going to look at some of them and talk about them too. But I think the inspiration is where the inspiration is. You know, you have you know, you got human-like figures, and they're going to look like other human-like figures, right? It's hard to differentiate them. Yeah, maybe they could have made that guy with the Gatling gun, maybe he could have been, you know, a fire type, but then if he's a fire type, then everybody's like, look, it's Magmortar, you know? So it kind of puts it in a weird, really weird place. You know, we got Piplup right down below there. So, like, I get it. I get where people are coming from, but should it make you not play the game? And that's the real question. A lot of people are like, I'm putting my foot down. This is copyright. I'm not playing this game. I'm not supporting them. I will tell you right now, if it was copywritten, this game would not be up, because Nintendo is not fooling around. Nintendo doesn't even, like, they won't even hesitate to just take down a game that they think is even close to infringing on anything. The amount of ROM hacks that they've taken down almost instantly is crazy, and you have to get some of them pretty sketchily to even have a chance. I'm surprised Radical Red is still up, or any of those, but they're notorious for doing that and just taking down these different games, even ones that aren't making money. And now we talk about what this game is, right? 3rd most concurrent players of all time. That is crazy. How many copies? 6 million, over 6 million probably at this point, copies sold of this game. That is a crazy amount. So already it's making tons and tons of money. If you do invest your money into this game and Nintendo does sue them, guess what? You're almost guaranteed to have gotten your money back, because they're going to have to refund people because they're breaking the law, making money off of somebody's intellectual properties, and yada, 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 right? So something will have to be done. But as of right now, this game isn't breaking any laws. Yeah, we'll go over it once again, but I just want to take a look at something else, right? This is something that a lot of people are bringing up too, and that is Dragon Quest. I am huge in the Dragon Quest. I like Dragon Quest monsters more than I liked Pokemon when I was a kid. I love this game. The new one just came out recently, and it's fantastic, and I love it too. And you can see here, people are like, oh, it's not the same. It's a bat and a bat. Well, that's kind of what's happening in Palmons, in my opinion, too. And it's not that big of a deal. You got a purple bunny and a purple bunny, right? That's just as close as calling the guy with the Gatling gun over there a Electabuzz, in my opinion. You know, Piplup might be a little bit closer, but also it doesn't look like Piplup. It's unique from Piplup, but also a blue penguin, right? That's a bunny, right? He's a bunny, and also Nidoran is a bunny. They're the same thing. Look at the Rocky guy and Rhyhorn. They look very similar to each other, as in the way that, you know, one of these Pokemon, that Braviary over there, looks like Braviary, you know? So there are a lot of different ones that just are really, really close and could be comparable. Dragonite plus the Great Dragon from Dragon Quest, almost the same, right? So you can't really make this comparison because Dragon Quest came out in 1986 or whatever it was, and Pokemon came out 10 years later, and they have very similar designs. Now, it's been 25 years since Pokemon came out, and there are some different designs. Like, there are some designs that are very close, and that's what's going to take us over here, right? I would not suggest going to this website. There's a lot of ads. But yeah, as you can see here, this is the one we talked about on that picture there. It's Lucario, right? It looks very similar to Lucario, though it's its own unique shape, right? We see here Lucario's head goes down and goes like that. This one is a big bulbous and then points out, right? The ears are pretty similar, opposite color palettes and stuff. So it is unique from it, though inspired, maybe. We go down here. This one's pretty bad, but because you get the same horns and stuff. But a lot of these ones, like the legendaries in Pokemon, are attributed to, you know, actual myths and stuff like that. So their designs aren't really copyrightable because Cobalion is based off of it. So this Pokemon might be based off of that same one. So I haven't seen this mod in game, but it is pretty similar with the face. If you told me this was Mega Aggron, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But this is actually what Mega Aggron looks like. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty similar, though it is unique. It has wings, you know, the face is a little bit different. This looks more like a Digimon to me than it does a Pokemon. And then this one, people are calling this one the wrong thing, right? This looks like Salamence. I don't know why everybody is saying it looks like these, because it doesn't look like those. This looks like Salamence. If you say it looks like these, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. This is Salamence. But like the head is almost exactly the same as Salamence, but it is unique with the way that this is. It looks like an airplane. Like, it's a dragon, right? Dragons have been drawn for 1,000,000 years. Even these are very close to its own type, right? These are very close to the other dragons in Pokemon because it's a dragon, right? Garchomp. Okay, this looks like Mega Garchomp. I don't know why they did this, because if they just put Mega Garchomp has horns like this, so I don't know why they didn't just use Mega Garchomp. But saying it's the combination of two Pokemon is really dumb to say, because that means it's unique, right? It's different. It's not something that Pokemon is doing. They're not combining their Pokemon, though it does have attributes very similar to Garchomp. Maybe not wide as a head, but like the body shape and stuff is very, very similar. So I could see that one, but just use Mega Garchomp because it's more like it. Now this one is pretty bad. This is Luxray. This one might be just a copy. This one is so far apart. I don't even agree with this. He doesn't even have ears. So to say it's the same just because they have lightning bolts, I mean, every game has a lightning bolt guy who has lightning bolts on his body or whatever. like it's not the same in my opinion. The faces are completely different. You know, the body shapes are different. He doesn't even have a tail, so I wouldn't compare these ones. I think this is a bad faith comparison here. Same with this one. I mean, it's a hedgehog, right? Is this copying Sonic? Is Shaman copying Sonic? Like, it's a hedgehog, right? It's gonna look like a hedgehog. This just looks like if you went into a random store and, you know, got a kawaii hedgehog plushie. It's gonna look like this, right? It's just gonna be cutesy and just have a little nose like that ends at the point with the big eyes and whatever. This is not the same. This is 100% not the same. Decidueye, this one is pretty bad too. This looks like a combination of Decidueye and like a Lade. But it also does something a little bit different, though it does have the bow and arrows and stuff, and it has the cape. This one's pretty bad. This one's pretty bad. But still. And then there's the Lucario one that we were looking at earlier. And then this one's Cinderace. It's a grass bunny, you know, it's in a fighting stance. I could see it, but at the same time, it's also a different, unique design. That's a different take on it. Doesn't have the same face, you know, the ears are a bit different. This is a terrible picture of Cinderace. They should have used the one from the game at least. And then the tail is much bigger. The pants are pretty similar, and the fact that it has an open body and, you know, wearing something on its neck is pretty much the same too. But I think they use this picture to like highlight how the ears are, but this isn't how it actually looks. This is just like a really weird picture. So there are some, like, don't get me wrong, there are some that look very, very similar, but I don't agree with all of them. And I think at the end of the day, is the game good? And that's the question everybody should be asking. And if it's having, 1.5 to 1.6 million players currently playing just on Steam, that does not count any of the other platforms, and having sold over 6 million copies, games don't do that because they're bad. Games don't do that because they copied something else. Games do that because they were able to take something, improve it, and then put out a game that people are actually enjoying. People like survival games, right? They like monster catching games. I like monster catching games. I'm not huge on survival games, but having both of those combined really brought something new to the table that feels fresh, and it feels rewarding, and it just feels really good. And when I'm playing the game, I'm not like, oh, these designs look like Pokemon, I hate this. You know what I mean? I'm more like, oh, okay, let me get that new monster. Let me get that new pal. Let me register that pal. Oh, is he any good? Can I use him in my base? Can he help me out with anything? Because that's what I'm looking at, because that is the mark of a game that is keeping me interested every step of the way. And I think that's super important. And I think it really has that. And Pokemon has a little bit of that too. But this is kind of showing where Pokemon can go with it. If they can improve like this game looks so good graphically, and that is a pretty good draw as well. I know graphics aren't super important, but on top of that, the gameplay is just so smooth, where in Pokemon it's very stuttery and being held back by their own system, like Nintendo's own system holding itself back, is just crazy to me. It's just counterintuitive to have something like that happen. And I think this game is putting a really strong effort. And even though people are saying, oh, there's no effort, this game has been in development for a long time, right? We saw trailers of this game 2 years ago. I thought it was going to be a joke. Like, I wanted to play it because I was like, all right, guys, like literally at the beginning of my stream, I was like, all right, guys, let's play this game for like a couple hours to see how bad it is. A couple hours turned into a 10-hour stream where I just didn't even want to stop playing. Like, I just wanted to keep going. I really, really liked it that much. And that is a hard thing to achieve. I'm not a person who likes to sit there and play one single game for that many hours straight without that game actually keeping my interest. I can't do it. But this game has a hook in me, and I just want to keep playing it. I want to keep going back. What else can I explore? What else can I discover? What else is out there? Like, I just want to see it all. I want to build up a cool base. I want to get all these monsters working together, having all this stuff going. It's really, 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 really good. I'm telling you. And I just want to touch on a little bit. I'm not really an expert on any of this stuff. I just want to give my little bit of opinion on this part. Is a lot of people saying that they used AI. It's unfounded that if they actually used AI to create any of the models, they say that they made all the models in-house. They used AI to help them for inspiration, and I think that's perfectly fine. I personally am not against using AI, and I get why people are, because they're like, it's taking money away from artists, but you can still support those artists while AI is out there also putting out good art, right? I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think they are two separate entities that people just drag into one single entity. And I really don't think that's fair, because people are like, well, I'm not going to buy this game or play this game because it uses AI. But in the same vein, they're still buying cars and products from stores, and they're typing this on their cell phone that is built by machines that have replaced people who used to do those jobs. And so to put AI into a separate category where it's just evil because of, just seems disingenuous in my opinion. And I'm here saying I think AI is decent, and I think it's the future, and it's about evolving around that and making everybody's jobs easier and improving society as a whole. Yes, it sucks for the artists that they do lose a little bit of money on that, but support the artists, right? If I'm going to make something for my stream or something, I'm going to go to an artist that I trust in, and somebody that I can see their work more than in AI. But when it comes to a video game, if it's putting out a great video game, like, why do I care that it was made by an AI? I don't. And I don't think it should matter, because it's not taking the job of somebody, right? Somebody wouldn't have came in and made that same thing. It doesn't work that way. You still need the great minds to make the great video games, and I think this is one of the good ones. Will it last forever? I think the hype is up right now. I think a lot of people are going to play it right now. I think it will die down, just like 100 million other games have done. But I do think it's a really good video game, and if they do keep improving it, I think this could be an amazing long-term game. But we got to see what the devs are going to do about it, and how they're going to use this money that they just made to improve the game. So, but that's just my take on it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you thumbs it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.